we have the great privilege of interviewing Dr. Audra Steiner, the world-renowned vision therapist, and we're trying to garner her opinion on rehabilitation. And let's see what she thinks about it. Hi, Dr. Steiner. May I call you Audra?
Of course.
Oh, okay, Audra. How are you doing today?
Real well.
Okay, good. The kids aren't too bad today on vision therapy?
Good night on the vision therapy.
Alright, good. So, I want to ask you some questions on our project, rehabilitation. And what I want to know is, what do you think about using the Wii as a vision therapy tool?
I think any program of therapy needs to be carefully monitored by a doctor, so parents and patients need to understand that. We don't want them thinking they can just run out and buy a Wii and do all their therapy at home. Having said that, I like a lot of things about the Wii for rehabilitation. It seems to me that compared to other platforms, the Wii has more games available that require spatial skills, spatial judgment, visual memory, eye tracking, and eye-hand coordination. I like the idea that it is such an interactive tool, so it seems to me you have to make more spatial judgments and more proprioceptive judgments using the Wii because of the special Wii controller than with other video game platforms.
Wonderful. And you seem to be saying a lot of great things about rehabilitation, but do you feel that there are any cons that may have more difficulty and be negative towards its impact on vision therapy?
Well, as we talked about before, we want to make sure that parents understand they can't just go out and buy a Wii. And I can understand perhaps if you had a Wii set up in your office, even if you were using it for very specific goals, some parents might object that they're not paying for vision therapy to have their kids come in and play with the Wii. That problem just involves parent education to explain what skills you're working on, how you're monitoring the child carefully and providing them feedback. The other problem with the Wii is that although it is more real world than, say, a PlayStation or an Xbox, you're still not getting the same kind of practice that you'd be getting in making judgment that's exactly. You're having to do some calculations in your head, but the judgments are a little bit not exactly the same. And for eye-hand coordination, you would probably want to do more things where people are actually reaching out and touching things and placing them and making more detailed spatial judgments. Having said that, I think it's a very motivating tool that can be used. I can imagine situations where parents were having a hard time getting any kind of vision therapy homework done, and if you could say, listen, if you have a Wii at home, could you get these games, and I want you to write down your scores for me and bring them back, and let's talk about your progress on them, it might be useful in that regard.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And Dr. Snyder, would you consider getting the Wii for SUNY optometry? And you see how many patients there are on the 5th floor, how many children there are, and do you feel like it would be a great benefit to get the Wii and use it as a vision therapy tool in SUNY optometry?
First, I would want to say that I know many of our patients are children, but I think the adults would find the Wii equally motivating.
Exactly.
It's been used in rehab centers all around the country, and senior centers also, more as entertainment than rehab there, but adults seem to interact really well with the Wii. We've actually spoken about getting a Wii for the floor. Dr. Friedman, who is our chief, tried out his grandchildren and seemed to think that there were some vision therapy applications for it. Again, we would have to structure things very carefully and make sure that if we are asking people to do it, we're always doing that for a purpose, that we're providing feedback to them, and that we're working towards an overall goal that's consistent with their rehab plan.
Awesome. So, would you say yes or no to rehabilitation?
I would say with proper supervision, a lot of good feedback and monitoring and understanding that a total rehabilitation plan needs to consist of a lot of different things. The rehabilitation can certainly be a part of a rehabilitation plan.
Awesome. There you go. World-renowned vision therapist, Dr. Audra Steiner. Thank you very much. Right now, we are in front of room 504, which is the office of the world-renowned vision therapist, Dr. Esther Hahn. So we're going to interview her and see what her opinions of rehabilitation are. So why don't you guys follow me in? This is Dr. Hahn's office. And here's Dr. Hahn over here. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
How was your day today?
It was very busy.
Vision therapy kids were good?
Yes.
All
I
right.
graduated one.
Oh, you graduated one today? It makes vision therapy real, right?
It is very real.
Good. So, I want to ask you some questions regarding our rehabilitation. What do you think about it?
In terms of visual perceptual or general?
Whatever you want to answer.
Depending on the age of the child, I think it's a really good therapy in terms of integrating their visual skills as well as their motor skills. So that's what's really nice about it, because it's actually in free space. And so even when you're observing them, you can actually look at their body posture, whether they're tilted off to the side, whether they're dominant one hand. I also think it's really good actually for sports therapy in the future too, but also more higher level activities.
So you said a lot of pros about rehabilitation. What are some negative aspects that would be bad?
I think some of the negative aspects is the sequencing. There's not a lot of things you can do in terms of saying, oh, I want to go from this level to this level, or I want to incorporate this aspect of vision, maybe the size of a target or the shape of the target, or just to make it a simpler target. So that I think that limits what you can do, and depending on the person. So someone who is learning disabled, you may want to do more simpler targets, but then that's what you can't change. So you almost have to do these things for more above average type kids.
So I guess the main question is, yes for rehabilitation or no for rehabilitation?
It depends.
Come on, Dr. Han, you gotta give me an answer.
Okay. I actually do like it for vision rehab, and so if we had one, I would use one. So I would definitely. The Dance Dance Revolution is actually very good too, because it incorporates the hands.
Do you have Dance Dance Revolution?
No, my friends do.
Have you played Dance Dance Revolution?
I'm not good at it.
It's okay.
But the hand aspect is much better than for the Xbox or the other PlayStation 2.
So there you have it. There's another vision therapy expert who is endorsing rehabilitation. That's Timothy. Thank you.
That was so bad.
As you can see, we just interviewed Dr. Han and saw her expertise. And right down the hall, we come into the office of Dr. Cho, and he's going to give us his expertise on rehabilitation. And it'd be nice because he's a male, so guys kind of like video games a little bit more, so it's nice to get a different perspective and see what he thinks about it. So let's go in and see what he's doing. Seems like there's no patients right now, so Dr. Cho is available for an interview. How are you doing today, Dr. Cho? Good. So, Dr. Cho, we are currently working on a project, and it's called rehabilitation. What is your perspective on the use of rehabilitation as a vision therapy modality, treatment modality?
I think it's a great technique. It's definitely fun for the kids and for adults. I don't have that much experience using the Wii, but from what I know, it's a great visual motor integration activity. I'm not so sure about visual memory, other activities that you would do on a perceptual level, but definitely with visual decision making and making saccades, eye movements, things like that. It's a great activity for those activities.
And what are some negatives? Why wouldn't you promote rehabilitation?
The only thing I can think of with the Wii in a clinic situation with a patient is basically sequencing and recording results. So you play for a week, but if there's a way that you can record the results and that you can monitor their progress throughout the weeks, that would make it beneficial. But other than that, it would just be a fun game. So
I guess we as developers haven't really thought about that. But we will look into that. So, the big question is, rehabilitation, yes or no?
Right now, no.
No? Okay. Why no again? Is it because of what you just said before?
Yeah, just with the, with any kind of visual therapy, you need sequencing, you need ways to progress the results. You need someone also to guide them and, watch what they're doing so that, you could make sure they're not doing things randomly. So you need to give them that feedback. So, if you can do those things, I think it's great.
Okay. there you have it, folks. 2 yeses and 1 no. I'm sorry, I was expecting to get a yes, unanimous yes for rehabilitation, but apparently the 3 different experts did not think so. But it's okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Cho. And, oh yeah, one last question. Has anybody ever told you that you look like Clark Kent?
Yep, I've heard that before. Agent Clark Kent.
And are you currently wearing a uniform underneath that white coat of yours?
No.
Oh. Alright. That's it. Thank you very much, Dr. Joe. We're good.
That's bad. I should have rehearsed that.